the first thing. Like, I didn't even have the app open. I just put it in the holder, and then it turned on. So that's what's kind of cool about it, right? So to get started, I'm going to put you in the demo mode first. Actually, should you just hit record? Are you recording this?
Yeah.
You're right-handed, correct?
Yep.
So, you know what's funny is, so I'm left-handed, and it makes a big difference, left or right. Okay, so it has this concept of recentering the controller. You just push, like, you just hold the controller wherever it's comfortable, and you hold this, like, home button at the bottom. So there's home, like, I don't know, application button, and there's click. And then this is like a touchpad. You can, like, scroll with it and stuff. That makes sense. But I don't know how to get you back in the tutorial.
So that's a touchpad. The second one is a what button?
It's like an application button, like if you have to enter, but something that you can click to, like on this.
Oh, okay.
There's already new content. This is cool. HBO Now. What? Okay, I'll have you download that, so you can just check that out. That's the thing I think that's cool about this, is the experience itself. Sorry, it's so seamless, kind of.
So, let's do the quick intro to the podcast.
Wait, we're starting things now?
Yeah. So this is Ragz and
This is Kirk.
and so the beginning of the podcast was Kirk. You just heard Kirk. He's setting up the Google Daydream for me. I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah, I got the Pixel phone, and I got the headset, and unfortunately I didn't get the headset in time for seeing the family. I wanted to show everybody when I went back home for Thanksgiving, but now I got the headset, and I want to run you through...
Which is really strange, because you waited for the phone for a while. So he pre-ordered the phone, and it was supposed to... It arrived when they said it was going to arrive, but I had another coworker who bought the phone, who basically just went to the store and bought the phone. And he got it he got it weeks before, and he didn't have to really, go and wait for pre-order and do all this other stuff. So maybe the Daydream ready ones are a little more special or something. I don't know. We can hope for the best.
So you want to do this tutorial?
Yeah, sure. I'll do it.
I'm actually already finding this tutorial takes forever. So hold on. Oh, actually, so yes, that's one thing. I don't know if this will work with your glasses.
Yeah. So. Glasses. It's like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get why. I mean, come on. The only people trying this shit out is like either people with a lot of money or geeks and nerds. And I mean, like, why does every headset have a problem with glasses, man? Why do we not have a glasses setting of some sort? Something to help the people with the glasses or the main people using this thing.
Everybody wears contacts, and soon bionic contacts.
Mine.
So, let's see. The strap, you just kind of get it in a good, like, position where you think it'll be, like, at least roughly the size of your head.
Yeah.
And then you want it, sort of like the Vive, you want it to kind of, like, sit where that back of the head protrudes. Okay. And then the top sits more like a baseball cap, and then it just kind of rests on your cheeks. So you're going to get some light leakage probably at, like, where your nose is, but I don't think that bothers me too much. But you kind of just need to adjust it so things look.
So if you had a bigger nose, you would be at an advantage.
Yeah, I guess you could have everything limp.
Well, no, if
lean on your nose.
But to that point, though, is it resting on your nose? I'll try it in a second. But
God, I've snagged this like the first day I had it with like my fingernail.
So you wanted to cut it out a little bit or something?
No, it was just like I went to touch it and like the skin like snagged it because it's cloth, which I'm not used to it from like the Vive, everything being plastic and leather and stuff. Yeah. So. While I like the concept of the cloth, it was a little more delicate. Kind of funny. Let's see if it actually works.
Yeah, it's perfect, actually. Oh, all that railing over stuff for nothing.
Nice. Okay,
This is actually like a perfect fit. I have to... Wow, immediately I have to say that this is probably the most comfortable fit I've had so far.
Oh, with glasses?
Yeah, with glasses, man. This is awesome. I mean, I can see the field of vision is there. Yeah. But
maybe pull the strap up just a little higher. The strap itself on your head. Yeah, like that. Like baseball cap. Cool.
Yeah,
and then
good.
It seems like it's in.
I see.
Okay, hold on. Let me hand you the controller. Hold on a second. Your thumb. There's a button at the bottom. Yeah, that one. Just hold that down. Okay. Did things recenter?
Yeah.
Okay. So cool. There's a thing on the left there. Welcome. Click that with the top of the bottom
welcome,
left.
Welcome. Yeah, I see it. So I gotta click
you want to use the big button on the controller.
The big button. Yeah, so there's definitely light leakage. I'll say that. It's a comfortable fit with the glasses. And then I looked around a little bit, like moved my eyeballs around. Like looking straight up, it's great. Adjust the headset until the image is clear. Then press any button on the controller.
Okay, so now we're going to record Ragz going through this whole tutorial forever.
Yeah, no, we're not.
So far, he's touched the headset like 16 times since putting it on.
Okay, so going through like the tutorial and stuff, I'm looking around and like the home screen. It's really nice. I think it's pretty cool. I think kids would love this.
Not adults, just kids.
No, it's a nice plaything for adults, but kids would like really love this. They would just be like, "Oh, this is like really fun," and younger kids too. So I hear water and stuff, but obviously we don't have headphones on, so it's a little weird if you just put the phone on without headphones, and because I only hear obviously the speaker on one side.
Oh, true.
So I just hear like the water on that side, on one side. It's a little weird.
So the Pixel only has a speaker on half of the bottom side of the phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which a lot of people complain there wasn't. Like,
there's only half of a bottom. Yeah, anyway, why would they do that?
Look it up online. Why would they do it?
That doesn't make sense to me.
Why else are you gonna buy a Pixel 2 if they put all the features in one phone?
I know exactly, right?
Roadmaps, man. Roadmaps.
There's a butterfly.
Okay, so something that I'll probably talk about again later is really what's nice about the Daydream is you just drop it in the headset. There's no trying to adjust the center point of the headset. The software apparently tries to adjust. And
what do you mean?
Well, so normally you have a different camera being projected for each eye. One slightly offset to get a 3D effect. But usually normally have to line up the center of your phone when you drop it like in a cardboard. But in this case, you kind of just put the phone in there. It automatically aligns with the lenses, and you can just use the headset. Now, it's like the Samsung Gear probably gets around that because you have to plug the phone in, and it's in a specific like shell that fits well for the Samsung Gear. Mm-hmm. But in this case, basically, like the phone works with a case, without a case, and all the alignment just kind of happens. So I think that's like one of the big things Google wanted to do to make it like easy to get into VR.
Yeah, I mean,
if you've played around with Samsung Gear, I guess, or any cardboard, you'd kind of know what I'm talking about, like the alignment of the phone. What are you doing right now?
I'm looking at a porcupine, I think. There's some critters running around in this forest.
In the demo, you basically run through a bunch of different ways to kind of like use the headset and the controller. Mm-hmm. And in the experience Ragz is doing right now is a flashlight experience where you're at night and you find a bunch of animals that are walking around the forest. It's kind of cute.
So cute. So there's a solar system. Click and drag any planet to spin the solar system. Oh, very cool. Very cool, Google Daydream. So far, these are little
cutesy
tutorials or whatever.
Oh, there's apps. Like you have to go into like your app.
All right, so this is Ragz.
And this is Kirk.
And this is Current Podcast.
Yes, current.com. That's CVRNT.com.
So we're going to talk about the Google Daydream that Kirk finally received.
Yep. So I got the Pixel phone, and basically I finally got to give a demo to Ragz so he could check it out.
I just had a chance to try it out, and it was
what were you expecting? Like, were you expecting like some high quality experience?
I really was. Like, I remember watching the announcement, and I was kind of like, hey, these guys are saying they did this fun thing and it should be pretty cool. I don't know. Maybe I expected more than I saw.
Let's cut to the chase. Like, I mean, okay, so you had high expectations.
Yeah.
You tried it. You spent, honestly, though, let's tell everybody, I gave you like 15 minutes on the device, right? Yeah. So it's not like you saw like everything.
Yeah.
But, all right, so opinion, just out of the gate.
If you just want a little VR-ish tool that's better than the cardboard, it's worth whatever its price tag is, $70 if you have the Pixel phone. I don't know how it'll play with other phones, so I don't know if you can get it by itself and how it's gonna fare. But I wouldn't expect like super like Vive like graphics or Oculus like graphics, but it's definitely a step up from the cardboard.
Yeah. So I've been thinking about that too. Is like, where is it on the spectrum of devices, right? Maybe HTC Vive being on the highest end, cardboard being on the lowest end. But everybody's like, oh, what about the Samsung Gear? And for me, I've tried the Samsung Gear. It's annoying to use your finger up and tap the headset. It's just like this unnatural movement. Where
I would say the remote definitely made a difference.
Yeah,
in the way to navigate. Yeah, because it's just it untethers the need for you to touch things on places like you were saying.
And
so
it's obviously
a big
not,
difference.
And I guess I think about it, it's like it's not something that Samsung cannot just copy and like bring out their own remote. But I think like the experience was pretty good. It's pretty solid. And I'm not being a fanboy.
Is the remote connected via Bluetooth?
It does connect through Bluetooth to the phone. And there's some people complain because there's no tracking, right? So that's what the downside of the remote is. There's no cameras like on a Vive. You don't have any lasers shooting down.
But it's meant for you to use right in front of your face as you're using this thing. And I don't think it pegs itself as something that you need to be able to swing your arms all around and like... No,
but I'll say there's some badass physics happening because it basically is trying to determine the velocity and positioning and send that to the phone and say where the controller is in space, which to me I think is kind of a pretty neat like technology solution.
But I mean, don't a lot of peripheral devices do that anyway?
No, they're usually they're hardwired. There's
Bluetooth.
No.
What other Bluetooth things?
No, but positional tracking. That's the thing that's like psyching me out, I guess, is the fact that this is something I have in my hand, so I'm controlling something that's moving left to right, and it knows the velocity, and it knows the direction. So it can estimate from where I moved, like, did I move 2 feet in time, or did I move 3 feet in time? And I think that is just...
But then your phone itself can do that too.
Yeah, it can. No, but it's just like that's one thing. Like the Gear or like even the Vive and Oculus are not necessarily. Well, as far as I know, are not doing. They're not estimating it. They're in fact. I like to think that because of the cameras and
You're saying that the remote is the standalone thing that is essentially beaming back its location constantly.
Yeah, it has the gyros, it has accelerometers in it. So the gyros will help you understand the rotation and movement, and then the accelerometer will help you understand, how fast you're moving through space. And then if you just think back of like algebra, there's X, Y, Z coordinate, and like imagine there's a graph in between your hand and the headset, and it somehow knows how to calculate where the joystick or the controller is at any given time, where I like to think there's like telemetry or like with the Vive and Oculus they're using like GPS coordinates. It's like, okay, you're the third point, and between two cameras they know the distance between the cameras, and then you're the third point, so they can do some algebra or some
math.
Trigonometry to try and figure out where you are in space. But what just cooks my brain is a little bit like, how do I apply this mathematics to real life applications when I'm in high school and trying to figure out like what is calculus and trig, and like how does this ever help me out in life? And it's like I'm never going to be a surveyor who's sitting out. Sorry, I'm going on a huge tangent here, but I'm never going to be a surveyor who's sitting out there with my construction hat on trying to figure out a point, distance from A to B. But once you start doing 3D app development and VR, like all of a sudden it all starts clicking, and you're like, wow, man, this is like falling into place. And I guess that's what's pretty exciting.
I think one of the things I would have used this for if it's somehow compatible with like the iPhone 7 Plus at some point.
No, come on, buddy.
Come on, it's got to happen.
Do you think either company would like that?
I don't know. I mean, Google might just be like, I don't care. Sure, I'm gonna make it iPhone compatible and take away your business from your device. Before Apple's probably gonna jump on this next year or something, and with augmented reality.
And Apple's gonna be like, I'll give you no support. I don't care, because we're gonna come out with something eventually. It'll be better.
So I mean, Google just anything you do. Google doesn't have to do anything. They just need to put a free app out on the App Store and then let people interact just like they do Play. It's like any other store, any other piece of Google. So that's not out of the realm of possibility for them to go that route. I don't know that if they will or not. Anyway, it'd be interesting to see what they do with it, but I'd probably get it. I will say that the quality isn't so great that I'd be able to watch a movie maybe comfortably for an extended period of time.
Yeah. So should we talk cons then? Like we'll start out with the negatives and then evolve to the positives. So I've had the headset, the Daydream headset, plus the Pixel XL for about a week now. So I've had a couple hours. I haven't spent every day of the week trying it out, but I've had a couple hours trying it out. And for cons for me, so that I don't come off as a fanboy, I think it's just like I had a couple days where it was tough for me to feel comfortable with the headset. It slips around. There's no top strap. So there's only a strap that goes like around your head, like wearing a bandana or a headband. But with like the Samsung Gear and the Vive and the Oculus, there's a top strap. And that really, I think, helps counterbalance the weight, but also keep it from slipping.
Slipping, yeah.
So I guess like I'm curious, like, did you...
Yeah, I mean, I felt myself consciously trying to...
I think you touched the headset like 100 times while I watched you use
it. I constantly tried to keep adjusting it a little bit, and I don't know, just over... And it might also have been because I had my glasses on, but at least I was able to put my glasses on and look at it. I don't know how that played into my experience, but no, I kind of kept having to adjust it a little bit here and there. So yeah, it's not also because I was kind of standing a little bit, sitting down. So maybe if I just sat in one spot and just like stared out in one comfortable point and then centered it there, and it just didn't move my head at all. But otherwise, it's
So what's funny about that is actually I haven't used the Daydream headset standing up yet.
Oh really?
Only used it in a swivel chair. On my computer. So it's kind of funny, or a swivel chair I have for my computer. So it's kind of funny. I was actually noticing that. So actually the other gripe I have is the field of view.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you notice that. And here you even bring it up the whole time, but for me it's kind of narrow. So it is, what I mean by field of view is it's kind of like, imagine looking through, I don't know, paper roll from paper towels, like the cardboard roll. So it's just kind of narrow. It's not your typical field of view. So any issues there, or is that even a concern for you?
No, I completely agree. I don't think... I mean, then again, I didn't expect it to be as good as like the Vive, or obviously not. It's like a $70 thing. So I expected it to be better than the cardboard, which it was. And I did notice, it's very noticeable, because at some point, it's all whatever, but if you kind of look towards where you're supposed to be looking at and then move your head the way you are and you look around and stuff, it's an issue, but not with the $70 device. Or a $70, I wouldn't really call it a device.
You keep calling it $70 a device, but the headset you think 70, 50 to $100 or whatever, but it actually came free if you pre-ordered the phone.
Yeah, but it's 70, right? That's what they charge.
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like again, it came free with the phone because I paid premium for pre-ordering, I guess.
And got it later.
Yeah. Whatever. Drawing straws. So the other complaint I have, or I've read from other people, which I'm not so concerned about, is heat. Apparently people say like their phone's cooking. It's like as hot as it can get. And I don't know if it's because like they have some game that's really pushing, the chips and running the RAM and everything. But for me, like I've done a lot of video experiences, kind of like you were doing. Yeah. And I mean, the phone got hot, but it's like, I didn't necessarily think the heat was within the mask is due to the phone or just having something strapped to your face. Like,
is that what is the hypothesis, that's causing it to heat, or the heat is causing discomfort?
It's crunching numbers, dude. It's just all about...
No, I mean, I get that. I'm just saying, like, are they saying that is the complaint that the phone itself is getting very hot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, 100%. Silicon is totally just melting inside. But it's not. It's just running super hot. And apparently some people, though, get warnings that there's an overheat error or something. Yeah. And, like, I've heard this actually with Samsung Gear a lot. Did you know
that your iPhone has that too?
Oh, really?
Yeah. iPhones have a heat threshold where if you're, like, outside... and you're sitting down in like the sun and you have like a case, like a black colored case, and it absorbs all this heat, then your phone will not turn on. And what it'll do is it'll just say your phone's way too hot, you need to wait for it to cool down. And so even if it hits that temperature, it's not because of use, it's just there. At least they did a couple versions ago, but I'm sure like they kept carrying it on, and I'm sure they have the sensor there. But
let's go to pros.
Yes.
So, let's see. I'm looking at some notes I have here. So, easy use. So, for people that don't know how the Daydream works, you basically have this headset. You just flop it in, and then you pull the strap back, and it securely holds the phone. What's different about this is, like, cardboard, there was a line that would show up through the phone, and you have to, like, open an app, align the line correctly with the lenses and then check out the experience, and you get proper depth. But with the Daydream, you basically just throw it in there. It doesn't matter if it's aligned. But for me, the controller works well. Yeah. Actually, that's actually a gripe I read on Reddit and stuff, that people don't like the controller.
No, I think controller is really nice. I like the feel of it, and it was light and it was easy to use, and it had a big button and a couple smaller buttons. It wasn't super complicated, and it helped you navigate. And that's all you really need. You need something that's minimal.
How many times did you have to reset it? Like, did you realize?
Only once or twice. I mean, I think so. I think he is talking about recentering it. So yeah, the Daydream has a concept of recentering. So if it's like, if you're looking at the main thing and then you look to the side and then you hit the button or something, it essentially says, okay, so do you want me to look here now? Is this where you're going to look, kind of thing? You recenter.
It all goes back to what I was talking about earlier about the physics. And I think it gets out of calibration with like, oh, where's the headset versus where's the controller?
Yeah, I didn't think it wasn't that bad. Like it did not.
No, people totally like crapped on it online, but like, I guess the question is it really bringing you out of the experience? And like, I guess that leads me into the next concept is like, I actually think the App Store was great. It felt very seamless. You didn't get to experience this, but you can like download apps within the headset.
Yeah. So
you don't have to exit out and approve, and it's all like seamless within the Play Store. But everything's there. So, it's like this concept of resetting the controller that people gripe about. It's like, I don't know. It all kind of.
But how? Together. I mean, have you used it just to browse through stuff on your phone or look at something else? Can you basically access everything on your phone?
Actually, that I don't know. In fact, I haven't tried.
Or is it just like the actual App Store, or does it have a phone display or something, like where you can actually go to your desktop or just look at whatever regular stuff?
No. So far, everything I've seen is like 360 video or games, and mostly that. Actually, there's like you can access your photos. There's some 360 photo viewing applications, and
but you really can't watch it for it. What's the most you've gone watching?
Probably like an hour. Well, an hour of fiddling. But I guess what I was meaning by seamless, the way the store works, it's seamless in the sense that, I can launch into an app, I can get to the content I want, but then it's like I can quickly exit, jump into the next thing. Like there's no, I don't know. I can kind of like just, what do they call it? Like the breadcrumb trail or a snack. So for mobile development, like some people will say like, oh, snacking. So like a lot of people will spend like seconds in an application on a mobile phone to exit out. Or where on a desktop, you're like eating whole dinner, so you're gonna sit down, you're gonna do a lot of work. This is something in between, but I do feel like the ecosystem allowed me to jump in and spend like 5, 7, 10 minutes within an app. So far, I don't know, it seemed comfortable.
I didn't have any problems with the App Store or anything. It was pretty quick, very responsive. I like that. And yeah, it was actually surprisingly very easy to get in and out of experiences. Meaning like very quick. So you just hit a couple buttons and a couple clicks, you're out, you're back to the main page, you can do stuff, browse, go pick something else, go play a game, whatever. So that I was kind of surprised by how quick that was. But even within an hour, you didn't think it was heating up or anything?
No, actually, no more than just the fact that I have a headset strapped to my face. Like, I guess, like, but because you can't touch the phone. I guess everybody's gripe was like when they pull the phone out or whatever, and I think they're worried that it's going to overheat.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm just used to like an Apple Macintosh like laptop just sounded like it's gonna take off from my desk and fly away because the fan kicks in, and like I guess I just know I'm used to it. But the other comment that I was gonna say was a pro was actually the primary reason I got the Daydream headset and phone was because I wanted to develop applications, and I just thought like I wasn't ready yet for myself to invest in a Vive like you did, but I want to do VR development. So there's actually some good tutorials I've tried on and online, and for they most of them have involved Unity so far, but there's like Nerface Games, I believe, is like the one user, and there's SDK Boy. There's a couple websites that I basically clobber together. Okay. Honestly, I was able to get an app running, which I didn't show you, in VR in about 15 minutes once you had the environment set up.
Yeah.
So, you set up Unity, you set up Android Studio, you set up your SDK paths, and you're probably familiar with all this with development. But, walk through the tutorials. Like, I'm not familiar with Unity, but it's like when I did 3D modeling back, like, 15 years ago. You some of it's a lot of drag and drop, which is kind of exciting. And then you do a little bit of code, and you can get a quick demo. I'm not saying it's blockbuster hit, but I'll show you after this, and it's pretty exciting. So, like, I think, I'd like to try and spend some more time doing development, but that was the whole point. Got it up and running on the phone. You can drop it in Daydream. You can access it through the headset.
Do you have links and stuff that we can provide, like, to the...
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, though, these barrier to entry, it's, like, super low. So what about you? I mean, like, I guess, like, I already had all my pros and cons queued up. I guess I agreed with most thoughts?
Yeah, most of what you said was pretty much how I felt about it. I didn't think that this was the field of view was that big a deal, given that this is just a little headset. It's an upgrade from a cardboard, essentially. The remote was functioning well. Interface was snappy. You could get in and out of stuff pretty quick. It was a fun little toy. I think rather than watching a movie on my phone, I might try watching a movie on a Daydream if I had it, and if I had the Pixel and stuff, just for the sake of it. I don't know that I'd be comfortable over a long period of time, especially with glasses. I think that makes a difference for sure. I think if you don't have glasses, I think this is probably far more comfortable. If you have glasses, you kind of feel it, especially even if your glasses are a little bigger, not like mine aren't huge, but those things kind of make a difference. And it also depends, like, based on those things, you may or may not use it as much as you think you would. I don't know. I felt like...
So, actually, on that note, can I butt in? So, there's someone we happen to work with who's kind of high up there on the totem pole. And I saw him with the Pixel headset. So then I was like, I got to talk to this guy. And I was like, hey, man, I saw you got the Pixel. And he was just like, yeah. And then we were talking. He's just like, I haven't found that killer app yet. So he immediately was like, the PlayStation, people argue that the store does not have a lot of content. Which I'm like, who are these people? Because, like, for a mobile app store that came out, like, 2 weeks ago, what content are they looking for? But I think they're comparing it to the Vive, the Oculus, and Samsung.
Well, you can't. So that's the thing.
And they're expecting, like, all apps on the whole Google store to be ready.
But no one. That's the thing. Like, people need to stop expecting these magical things. I think.
Well, and these are people that have tried VR. I mean, like, you go talk to somebody who's never tried it. I don't know if they have any of these expectations.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I guess, like, the audience obviously matters.
Unfortunately, though. But go ahead, tell me your rant, because it's right.
I don't know. I feel like if you want instant gratification just out of... this thing was... You would wait like 6 months before you expected anything really good to come out of this.
But these people have been waiting 30, 40, 60 years for VR. Anyway, we forget all that. But so the reason I brought up this person at work was because I think this is their first time having their own VR experience.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm looking for that killer app, but I think we all are, of course. Yeah. But it's interesting because I don't think he's had a lot of VR experience, and yet he's still already found that he doesn't necessarily know why he would go into the apps, into VR experience that often. And it was just food for thought for me because, again, I'm probably mostly driven through enthusiasm and hopes of bringing this whole industry, into something everybody can't live without. But I guess
I think it's pretty cool that you're able to get an app up and running that quick. Honestly, in 15 minutes.
Again, I already had Unity set up. I already had Android Studio set up.
Yeah, but so even
Java
if you
development kit set up.
Okay, so
I've done you're 500 times in my career.
Yes, but that's a one-time prep thing.
Wait, mind you, I haven't programmed for a living in so long. I don't even know how to tell you. 12 years? Anyway, but I still hack on the side, right? So it's like I've set up Java a million times.
You don't hack on the side, bro.
Hack
you aspire.
I just hacked your
internet. You aspire to hack on the side.
Okay, you're
right. It's like me aspiring to hack on the side.
Right.
That would just be
belittling all the real hackers out there.
I know. There's people who actually do that. Like, it's not you and me.
I don't know the right word, but dink around.
Yeah.
Dink?
I think that's no.
Dink
That's a
with
that's
a D.
that would be an apt description, I think, because I think that's what I do in my spare time. I dink around. That's about all it can really amount to.
Yeah.
But if people like us can do this, I mean, anyone should be able to actually just get up there and then do this thing. Just go and throw some stuff together. I don't know. You might just play around with it and figure out that it's just easy to put some stuff together, and it might just take off. Who knows? Just I think we should just keep trying to tell people to go and try this stuff out.
Yeah, try it out. So
shout out to Axon VR for getting some of that money.
Axon. Talk about Axon.
Oh, Axon VR, they do the haptic full body suit.
So we tried the demo a couple podcasts ago. We talked about trying their demo, and I'll say the experience we had was awesome, but it wasn't the full body suit. So the concept of delivering a full body suit is we barely crazy.
We barely tried like just the palm, and it was like we put our hand into this machine and we tried it out. But
straight up, honestly, if they could come up with a full suit,
I think that's
100% feeling.
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying, and I think that would let you feel so many. Like, imagine if you could just drop down on the floor and you roll, and only the parts of you that are actually on the floor.
I never even thought of that.
Are what you feel touching the ground, and the rest of your body just feels normal, like nothing's happening. But as soon as you turn to your side and your knee or something hits the ground, you feel that impact, and you feel the gravel or whatever surface it is that you're in your experience. So those kinds of things are going to be possible.
Actually, I've never thought of that concept before, like rolling around and make you feel like you're rolling around without rolling around.
Yeah.
And it makes me think of just like people that physically cannot be as mobile as others can be.
Yeah.
So people that maybe can't walk or get out of bed, and that's pretty amazing, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
if they could
this
feel...
This is a gift, right?
Yeah, if they could feel some of that, because...
So it's beyond just like messing around, right? Like I guess this goes back to what the hopes of VR could be, right?
Yeah.
It can give experiences to people that can never imagine or safely do things that, they could never do before. And just, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I think like if you're able to deliver an experience to someone who's immobile, you can't really feel like you're at a beach, and this should be thermal. I think they did announce it was going to be thermal as well. You're going to be able to feel warmth, cold, being outside in the rain, the snow, out in the ocean, and being able to like feel all that. It should be, I think it's maybe the good will come out of all this anyway.
All right, let's close this puppy out.
Okay.
So this is Kirk.
And this is Ragz.
Yeah, and check out our site, cvrnt.com. The current podcast. Okay, next year, 2017 is gonna be the bomb.
Yeah, I think it should be fun.
Predictions for 2017. Do you think Vive or Oculus?
What?
I think they'll bring out a new headset next year.
They have to. Now at this point, like it's gaining popularity. They have to do something. They'll change the form factor. The Vive, definitely. I'm looking at the Vive headset right now.
It looks old.
It's like a little big and clunky, and they already have it wireless. They're gonna integrate it together. They'll probably release one
next
wireless.
Year? 1 year within delivering.
I think so. I think probably by maybe Thanksgiving-ish.
Okay, keep in mind we have no clue or
like,
any insider information. We're complete speculation.
Yes, we should keep speculating. That's great. I think you know what I think is the Daydream. I think if they open up user remote, and they just allow people to use just kind of open source it, then it's just gonna be. I think that might take off because it might be very cheap to produce, and you just be able to push it out. So
damn straight. All right, check us out on Twitter, CVRNT. See ya. Thanks.